everyone,
Hi.
and welcome to another Gladsley review. So we've just finished watching the new Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage in the cinema, and here's our spoiler-free review.
So I'm not going to go too much into the plot because you've pretty much seen it all in the trailer. Eddie visits Cletus Cassidy in prison. He bites him, he becomes Carnage, and then he goes out, rescues his girlfriend, and then we have one big monster fight. Now, I'm not like a big diehard Venom fan. I don't really know the comics or the novels or anything like that. So the only sort of Venom that I knew was from the Spider-Man cartoons in the 90s. And I know quite a lot of people probably don't like this representation of Venom, but what I saw on screen was quite funny. I do quite like it. I think they've added more humour in this one, which might drive more fans away. But I quite enjoyed what dialogue Venom had to say, because if you're thinking about it, it's like it's a bit sort of bit mundane and stuff like that. But the way Tom Hardy sort of saying it, like, I'm going to use you as a bowling ball and score a perfect game, stuff like that, is quite funny to me.
Yeah, it's quite random and just like, it just throws it out there and you never know what he's going to say, I don't think, Venom, but it's always going to be something just absolutely hilarious. Yeah, so I liked as well how you saw a lot more of Eddie and Venom's relationship coming a bit more closer together.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like when you move somebody in and, for the first time and you're starting to get to know them a bit better and they're messy around the house or they're just, they're getting in your way all the time. And that's kind of what you saw with Venom and Eddie here in this film.
Yeah, or in this case, more brains, please.
More brains.
What I also liked was there was a bit of a sort of comparison with Spider-Man, I felt, where you see Spider-Man flying through the city with his webs and climbing on walls and this, that and the other. Venom is just more clumsy, just smashing his way across the buildings. He must be a homeowner's nightmare or an insurer's dream.
Yeah, he just makes a mess wherever he goes. He's not very...
not very elegant.
No, definitely not.
So let's talk about Carnage. And again, I'm not like, I don't really know the lore of Venom and Carnage and things like that. So this just kind of just played like a bit of a generic action film. So, but they were good in it. Woody Harrelson was good in it.
Yeah, he's a good actor in anything that he does. Carnage seemed to be a little bit more meaner than Woody Harrelson's character.
Yeah.
He was a bit more... they didn't seem really paired very well together as a bad guy.
That's kind of what the film was going for, really, sort of like the connections between the two and the comparisons.
That's what I mean, Carnage was a little bit more meaner, whereas Woody Harrelson seemed a little bit nicer then, really.
Yeah, even though he's a mass murderer. He's sort of like, well, the lesser of two evils would be Cletus. Also, a very unrecognisable, well, for me, Naomi Harris as Shriek. I just didn't recognise her until the credits rolled up. I was like, oh, oops,
yeah, this
sorry.
was an interesting bad person like added into it that we've not seen in the trailers. So she's an interesting character as well to add to the mix. She didn't really have overly too much to do in the film, but I liked her character as well.
Yeah.
So this runtime is really quite short as well. I remember you telling me when you booked it in for the cinema, you was like, that's a mistake. An hour and a half.
Yeah, just over,
So short.
I know. I feel like we're kind of in the Goldilocks and Three Bears sort of thing. So first Venom movie was just a bit too long. This one was a bit too short. Maybe the third one will be just right. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the pacing as well, it this film just like directly shoved you straight into it. There wasn't no messing around because obviously the runtime was so short. So everything just happened straight away, and I felt like it just needed to slow down just a little bit so I could just take it all in.
Yeah, maybe probably just an extra 10 minutes would have been fine, I think.
Yeah.
It did feel a lot rushed.
Yeah.
But I think because they were just doubling down on humour and action, that's just all they wanted for you to see, really.
Yeah. So overall, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
It kind of reminded me of the first one. I liked it. I didn't love it. I wasn't blown away by it. I know a lot of people will really enjoy Tom Hardy in it because he's just, extremely fit to look at. The comedy was really good. I did laugh and chuckle quite a few times. Visually, it was really nice as well. I mean, it didn't disappoint in that aspect. Would have liked it to be a little bit longer. We've waited quite a bit of time for this film. For it to just be over in an hour and a half was a bit, but I do think a lot of people will be entertained by it. And I think a lot of people will like it.
Okay. I'm going to be a little bit more generous than you. I'm going to say 6 out of 10. I agree with you. It doesn't blow me away, but I can't say I wasn't entertained at the same time. Like you said, Tom Hardy, Woody Harrelson, Naomi Harris, they were all brilliant in this. They were all really, really good. And yeah, good action scenes. It was just like, to say throwaway is a bit too harsh.
Yeah.
It was just, I enjoyed it because we watched it Friday night. It was those types of sort of popcorn, sort of take your brain out type of film, really. It is just all action, all comedy. That's it, really.
Yeah.
That's kind of does what it says on the tin, which is fine. Maybe because of just other superhero films, maybe we're just expecting more these days. I don't know.
Well, there was an extra bit as well, I have to say, in the credits. So obviously stick around for that. That was really interesting as well. I kind of looked at it and I was like, oh, okay, this is going to happen. So that's definitely something to stick around for.
We have to say that we watched Venom in our local Cineworld in Sheffield in 4DX, and wow, it was really intense. I felt like the scene in Mr. Bean, the movie, where he's just sat on that roller coaster chair thing, I thought I was going to get chucked off. It was just so intense.
It was the highest that they'd ever pumped it up to.
Yeah.
I was literally gripping into the cup holders. I couldn't even grip onto you at one point because I just thought, I'm not going to stay in this chair. And I could see people moving around so vigorously. I thought, what is going on here? It was so ramped up. It was fun. I just kept laughing because of it. But it definitely needed toning down a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think probably my favourite overall would still be Jungle Cruise this year.
Yeah, that was really good. That wasn't over, but this was just like...
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Just a bit, yeah, it's a bit crazy. So
be warned.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you've had any similar experiences in other city worlds, if you've watched this in 4DX.
Also, guys, please put a comment below to let us know if you've enjoyed Venom 2 and if you preferred the first one instead.
Yes, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, everyone, and we'll see you again soon for some more Gladsley reviews. Take care. Bye.